We have this misconception that we need motivation in order to start something. But actually, what we need is not motivational videos or motivational books to start something. Motivation actually comes after the action. So when you start doing something, you'll start to accomplish a few things, a few small steps, and then at some point you'll build more and more momentum and get motivated more and more. Just like Newton's first law says, objects that are in motion tend to stay in motion. Well, we can apply the same thinking to our tasks. Once we start doing something, chances are we'll continue working on it until it gets done. Today we're talking about a few tips to keep that motivation level up and to actually get things you want to get done. We waste a ton of time and energy wondering when motivation will hit. Well, now that we know that motivation actually comes from doing the thing and not as an external source, and instead of waking up and wondering if today's the day that you'll feel motivated to go to the gym or film your first YouTube video or whatever, schedule a time in your calendar for when you'll just start to do something, and then you'll see motivation will start to kick in at some point. The idea here is to try to not rely on our self-control and rather just put everything on autopilot. And it gets even better if we're able to build habits for things like going to the gym. Of course, for larger projects, building habits might not be realistic. Like let's say at work, I have to build websites because I'm a web designer. While building websites can really be just a habit. But now that we know that the key to feel motivated is just to start, we can start to think of what makes it harder to start. So where are the areas where we have the most friction? Let's say you want to go to the gym. To reduce friction, you might want to have a gym bag ready next to your door. So that way, well, you have less friction. When I'm doing these videos, there are a couple of steps. Like I need to do some research, I need to plan what I'm gonna say, film, and then edit. And there are a couple of areas where I have more friction. Like let's say editing. I need to organize all my files in a folder structure. I need to do the same thing within my editor. And now, well, I built a template. So every time I start a video, I just duplicate that template and everything is ready. I have almost no friction now. Now that we know that you need to start and you've figured out ways to reduce friction, you want to make sure that you stay at peak motivation levels. And the way we do that is by having the exact perfect balance of challenge. There's a rule called the Goldilocks rules, which says that us humans have peak motivation levels when we're working on a task that is just on the edge of our abilities. A common example to illustrate this concept is let's say you're playing tennis and you're playing with a 4-year-old. It'll be pretty easy, right? You'll probably win a lot unless you're a good person and you let them win. But let's say you're playing a serious game, you'll probably get bored after not that long. Now on the other end of the spectrum, let's say you're playing with a pro player like Serena Williams, you'll probably be losing one game after the other. And well, once again, you'll probably lose motivation after not that long. But now let's say you're playing with someone that's about the same level as you are. You'll win a few rounds, you'll lose a few rounds, and you'll feel really, really motivated to work harder. You'll start to feel more focused on all of that. And that's exactly where peak motivation is. Now, I don't play tennis for a living, and I'm guessing that you're not playing tennis for a living either. So you might be wondering, how can we apply the Goldilocks rule to our lives? Well, I work as a web designer, like I said earlier, and every now and then we get like a bunch of clients that are pretty much the same, so it gets a bit redundant and a bit less challenging after not that long. And what I've been doing is writing down a challenge. So I might try to implement a new feature that's special, or I might try to bring a special story to the website, something like that. And sometimes I've even just set myself really strict deadlines, so I have to work faster, and then I get into a flow state a lot faster because I'm feeling more challenged. And on the other end of the spectrum, if I have a website that's super huge, it might feel like a big mountain to climb when I look at all I have to do. So what I do is I break it down into, well, let's say I break it down like page per page, and I'll focus on one page at a time. And then once I get that first page done, I'll feel motivated to work on the other one because I'll build momentum. And I have the same situation when I'm working on these videos. When I'm doing research and trying to write down scripts or ideas, sometimes it feels a bit hard to do because it's a lot of work. But once I start to write well, I get into a state of where I'm more focused and it gets a lot easier. So like I said, it's just about starting. If your goal is to work on creating a habit, check out this video that I made on how to hack the habit loop in order to either build habits or quit some of the bad ones you might have. And well, have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.